Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Sunday, August 16th, 2020. If you're watching the VODs on YouTube, please be sure to do all of the engagement and social stuff below the video, and if you are so inclined, I do stream at twitch.tv/otakushowboat, so head on over to leave a follow to be notified when I go live, if you haven't already done so. You can also support Pyandon's Mods development at patreon.com/Pyandon and myself at patreon.com/Otaku Showboat. I have just gone live. You have missed absolutely nothing. I have literally just gone live for those trickling in here on this Sunday. So, what's been going on? Well, Factorio released 1.0 of the game, and everything still works. Nothing broke because of 1.0. It's exactly as the developers had said would happen. So here we are in the game in version 1.0. As for the Pi Suite itself, nothing has really gone live since last time, so we're just gonna keep going from there. Now, I don't think there's anything particularly important to mention outside of that. The cats have access to the office today. Um yeah, so on Friday, Spidertron. The Spidertron is a thing now in base Factorio. And yes, that is the thing. That is the thing to talk about. So the channel points. I've added some additional stuff to channel points to try to sink your salt grains into, because I'm sure some people have, like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60,000 plus points by now. I added the ability to run an ad for a 30-second ad. So you can spend your channel points. You can only There's only, like, I think 5 that times that this can happen. So if you have like a Prime sub going, of course you won't see the ads happen. But this is like a way of spending your points to force people to sit through 30 seconds of an ad while I'm streaming. It's horrible. I want better methods of spending the points. However, you can also spend your points to get your name on roboports, science labs, or train stations in my map currently. So, and each one is successively more uh, channel points to spend, more salt grains. So it's 2,000 to have me rename your name as a Roboport, 5 as a science lab, and 10,000 to get your name on a train station, which, of course, that's shown on the map view. Of course, you can put the ideas on my Discord server in the suggestions section. That's where suggestions should go for additional way of spending channel points. But for now, that's that. Just, either getting your name in some way into the game through a Roboport, Science Lab, or train station currently for channel points, as well as a way to, sort of screw people who don't use their Prime subs, I guess, by forcing them to sit through 30 seconds of an ad during the stream. That, I think, should be that, and I should get notified anytime someone tries to get one of these requests put in, because they're all custom requests, and I have a window open now that should show me what the requests are as they get requested. If people actually look at what you can spend your salt grains on or channel points on at any point in time. So, hello. Hello and welcome. I have been busy. I have been busy. So yeah, so 1.0 released, it had the Spidertron added. We can't even look at it until utility science anyway, so there's that. I don't particularly care about it. It's just another vehicle in my mind that can cross really huge gaps of water and space. So it can cross the void, this Spidertron. 1.0 did not break much of anything, as far as I can tell. It did not break anything. At least none of the stuff that I am using today. So let's move on. I think that's about it to discussing the gloriousness that is the stuff that I have done off screen between last time and this time. So, as I zoom out, you may notice a few things. You may notice a few things. In particular, the bus is gone. The bus is gone. It's gone. It no longer exists. It's gone. It's deleted. There's no more. There's no more. And Immortal has redeemed the train station name. So okay, let's see. A train station will have Immortal's name tacked on to the end of it. Actually, you have a lowercase. There. Do you want the 1 on the end, or is that fine? He's Immortal Sniper the First. The First. So there you go. Now people can see your name on the map view whenever I'm in the map view. So there you go. 10,000 salt grains. And that is done. But yeah, the bus is gone. I got rid of it because I have the vast majority of stuff that was on the bus on my network now. So, what does that mean? I mean, there's a few things up here on the pre-bus that I no longer have going to my mall that will eventually be a little bit problematic. That being nickel, chromium, niobium. You know, just casually those 3 things. Those 3 things, and he's redeemed an ad time too. All right, so there we go. There's the first one. Push that button. So for those of you who have a Prime sub, you won't be seeing an ad at all. But for those of you, or if you have an ad blocker, you won't see it. You won't see it at all. So 30 seconds will go by, and eventually people will be able to watch the stream again. This is basically a screw you for those who are actually watching a lot, to people who either aren't watching a lot or aren't Prime subs or regular subs or any of that. Lots of people on Twitch have this sort of screw you mechanic thing going on with spending of their channel points, and you know, it does sort of help me out too if those get redeemed and people are watching. Of course, it assumes people are watching. I get literal pennies. Literal pennies! Anytime a 30-second ad is run. So, anytime any ad is run, but for there. Yes, and I don't yet have an FU that applies to, me. Yeah, I know. Taking suggestions through the Discord. If you want to have a thing that screws me over, add it to the channel point expenditure. The problem is, right, at this point, there are those who have like 65,000 plus points. So I need to be very careful, because as soon as I add something that's a screw you mechanic to me, it's going to get used a lot until people drain their points, right? Like that's the inherent thing. It's like it's gonna become an issue at some point. Why are they not building? Oh right, I am currently lacking in rails. I am lacking rails right now, so this stuff isn't quite getting built, I think I forgot to bring over, yeah, solder. That's the thing. Forgot to bring solder in. So a few things were added. A few things were added. Yeah, I don't believe you that you would never team up to ruin a map. Of course you would team up to ruin a map. Like that's just, yeah, of course. Of course you would team up to ruin an app. Ahem, Supple has redeemed the thingy, so let's now add onto here the stuff. Supple __, because that's the Twitch name. It's Supple, the one who made the mod that gets rid of the animations. Yes, Supple is the one who made the mod that kills all the animations on all the buildings. So now, there you go. That's your name as a train station. Of course, we can only have enough people redeeming that that train station for as many train stations as I have, right? But I think that's not going to be a problem considering how many train stations I have. What's the UPS gain from the mod? Minuscule. It's not really a thing that will improve the UPS so much as a thing that'll improve the performance of literally everything else on my computer while running Factorio at the same time. It's more a personal quality of life thing than a extra frame rate quality of life thing for here slash UPS thing. It dramatically helps free up resources on the memory on the computer, so I can actually do stuff with Factorio running at this point. Let's see. So I expanded out the number of stations in the mall. That's one thing that I had also done. Let's see. The next spot is here. I need to bring in solder. That's this button. Oh, hey, a whole bunch of numbers. M solder U. You need to be that stuff. Where's that stuff on this list? There you go. M solder. There. It is defined. And it should be on its way. It's on its way! So for those of you who do not know about using Train Supply Manager remotely, that's how you do it. There's my solder train coming in. So yes, I now have a solder factory, as well as a bit more stuff. So remember how last time I set up the rubber? I set up the rubber, and I set up the... what was it again? The biosamples? The biosamples, and I said I was going to set up, like, circuits separately off-screen. Yeah, I set up circuits off-screen. That's all of this. This is circuits. Up to 5 circuits per second. So it's a bit of a mess, but it's 5 circuits. I've got like a minibus here for my circuits out of the train station that I've got going. But it can do 5 if I had the urea for it. If I had the urea, it would do 5. Now, because I request copper and iron from here, when will I do MOSFETs? Eventually. Eventually, I will do like that's not for a good while yet. Like once I start working towards circuit 2s and such, that's when MOSFETs will become a thing. So I decided I would do small parts. This is like a lot of small parts. It's a lot of small parts. It's like 12 per second. It's not even to ratio because this thing changed a lot. Well, MOSFETs. So MOSFETs were added as an ingredient into circuit 2s and circuit 3s. That's all they really do. They require a few things that I don't have yet. Like, not even close. MOSFETs are a few ingredients to make and are now a necessary requirement of circuit 2s. You know, just make it more expensive to make circuit 2s just for reasons. And they're used in circuit 3s, which, you know, also require a circuit 2, so it's even more from the amount that's needed per circuit 2. That's 1, so instead of being 10, it's actually 11 that go into each circuit 3. Yeah. So that's a thing. It's a transistor. That's the T in MOSFET. It's a type of transistor, which is interesting because we have generic transistors as well as MOSFETs, which are a transistor at this point in circuit 2s. Anywho, also there's all the stuff for circuit 1s. It's rather nuts, but we've actually seen literally all of this. It's just at larger scale. 2 melamine into a melamine resin, 1 melamine resin into 1 whatever this is, wood. It's wood into PCB2s. Formica? I think the name that's the name from fiberboard from sheeted wood, which is all the way down here, where we've got the treated wood, which needs creosote, which needs tar. I have a little 250 per second of tar. I have about 250 per second of tar. Who's that? Who's that, kitty? Ollie. I heard kitty. It was Ollie. He's playing with a toy right at the door. Just be sure not to push the door too close. Because they do that. They end up pushing the doors closed. Or at least closed enough so that they can't go in or out through the door anymore. It's like, really? Why would you do this to yourself? Yeah, so it uses this whole thing up just under 250 tar per second. It's pretty perfect how it works out with all the stuff that I have here, like making saline for salt for the salt-based ceramic recipe. It's a better ceramic recipe overall than what I was doing before. And all of the coke being produced out of the tar through the heavy oil recipe, etc. And the steam from that coke, it does end up being just under 250 per second, which made me very happy that I didn't need to add more tar. Oh yeah, and you need syngas for the glass for this. It's rather nuts and insane. But hey, I've got circuits and I've got small parts now on my train network. I also set this up here. This is solder in cages. So solder being produced in a couple locations on here. This solder mostly goes into the cages. I've got just 3 buildings making cages. It's very, very, very low output of cages. But hey, eventually I'll have different recipes for the solder, and I need to make sure that I just have stuff for now. That's the main thing. I should have yes, rails. Rails are now moving again. Hello, Abe. Welcome. Welcome. I'm just going over some of the stuff that I did off screen. Oh yeah, this. I did this off screen too. I did this off screen. Well, there is, because there's the final silver the final one with silver. Right now, the only one I'm doing is the plates out of tin and lead and tar. It's tin, lead, tar is the one that I'm doing, and not the tin, lead, silver, tar, I think. Hey, silver. Silver for this one. This one should be the best. Hello? Kitty? Oh, I see. Ollie has a ball of tin foil, or aluminum foil. And it's a ball, and he loves it. So let's see. I much prefer the silver recipe. This particular recipe I prefer. Let's see. How did I find item stack size? What? For what? What do you mean, how did I find an item stack size? I mean, I have the debug info tooltip thing enabled. That's how I do stack size. And this is the United States, so that the thing he's playing with is a ball of aluminum foil. Now, if we're talking about the plates in-game, then yes, it's aluminium, because that's how it's spelled. That's how it's spelled here in Factorio, in the Pi suite. It's spelled aluminium. That is the only reason why I pronounce it that way. Is because that's how it's actually spelled here in the game. Otherwise, aluminum. There is a difference in spelling between US and Britain when it comes to that particular metal. He's really having a good old time behind me. So I think this is pretty self-explanatory, this one that I added yesterday. This one is Augs into bone meal. And it can be changed to anything other than that. Color, yes. Color. Different spelling. Lots of things have different spellings. In particular, words that have the O instead of the OU/O in the US. Color, flavor, yes. Oh, and then my favorite one, paleontology, where you have the AE. Yeah, paleontology has a big difference in spelling between the British and the US English versions of that word. Yes, and then there's the difference between ER versus RE. RE, by the way, coming from French, I imagine that being from like a big thing in the French language, having the RE as a whole class of verbs, let alone used for several words. Yes, that is correct. Like a lot of this stuff, I think that was based off of more French words, definitely were changed in their spelling when it came to English, U.S. English spellings. Everyone writes the date in a weird order. Yes, everyone is weird. There is only one correct way, universal way of writing a date, and that is year, month, day. Yes, year, month, day. That is the proper way of doing dates. That is the proper way. So enough looking at that one. Over here, I have my lab instruments right next door to the bone meal. Lab instruments with the good recipe on the thingies. on the engine units because, well, I need rubber here anyway. I need duralumin here anyway. I need small parts here anyway. Let's just add iron to make this better engine unit recipe and use that for the lab instruments. So I have about 1 point something lab instruments being made per second. So, yeah, about that. There's our time information. There's our time information. So I mentioned the titanium build. Yeah, I did this as well. So this is the production of, it's technically 16 ore produced per second, but I'm processing 15. Maybe? I put 15 as the number inside of my hell mod, but it might be enough buildings that it's actually able to do the full 16. But it's all limited by the yellow belt anyway. So 15 per second being processed through the grade 4 processing. It's the same exact thing. Like, these are the exact same units of the rich dust that I use for my factories. My factory smo factories. So, like, each one of these would have been a factory smo factory. Mark 1 factory. And you can just imagine at scale how bloated that gets on number of factories. So, yeah, I have made the determination that I will no longer be actually using the factory smo factories. Full stop. I will no longer be using them in my builds, and I will be actively transitioning the stuff that I do have in the factories outside of the factories. And when I do get everything out of the factories, I'm going to completely disable factory smo. Why? Because not only does factory smo have a pretty big impact on script update time, it also, like, drastically inflates the electric network. Look at this electric network usage time. That is incredibly high. Like, what? That is so high. And it's only like that because of factory smo. That is only like that because of factory smo. I swear to you that this would not be this high but for factory smo existing and having a whole bunch of factories going. A lot of factories. I have it set to use 200 surfaces. Before starting from the beginning again and using those 200 surfaces with a new factory just appended somewhere else in the surface. Yeah, I've new factories now use a third slot on existing surfaces. So that means I've gone through 400 already, and now I'm starting in the 400 range of factories. Greater than 400 factories have been at least placed and spawned a spot on a surface. So, yeah, about that. That is insane. You're still playing? Yes, that's your ball. That's your ball of foil. He's playing with a ball of foil behind me. So yeah, that's all that timing stuff. And yes, entity update is lower than electric network update. Yes, and the base will look a lot nicer with all the extra stuff, but it does mean I need a lot more space, right? Because that's the downside, is that you compress a lot of space inside of these factories, smo factories, and if you take everything out of those factories, it's gonna be a little large, just a little bit large. Therefore, why I am in the midst of expanding. But you can see, I have marked my intentions on all but one of the currently free blocks that I have around the place as I continue my expansion. So I have to spend a lot more time going out, placing landfill, making myself more space. However, I think the mall is going to be like a high, four high here. So this is going to go somewhat symmetrically, another at least four. Four down, four over. That's not quite a square just by the way that I've made this. So 4 by 4 is rectangular. Just it would look like this much space in here just for mall stuff. I may make it smaller by here, but for now I think that's going to be somewhat sufficient for my plans for the mall. And then up in here, this is all going to get converted to grid, standard rail grid stuff, shenaniganry. Which means I'm going to completely delete all of this power, this moss, this seaweed, and the initial landfill, this stone bricks, and all of this. All of this, like, plate stuff, shenaniganry. That's all going to get removed, deleted from the face of existence, as I like to say. And, of course, the pipe bus no longer needs to exist either, because the pipe bus is still there. I just have gotten rid of the belts. The belts all the way up to here. All the way up to here. And to do this, I added a whole bunch of roboports along the line to help me out a little bit. A whole bunch of roboports went along the line. I have, like, I don't know, 14,562 construction bots now. Because I have it set so that if they're all in use, add more construction bots. Well, it turns out when you do a massive deconstruction order, it's going to use all of your robots for a really long time. So I just keep getting more and more and more and more and more. And fortunately, I actually have the resources at this point to keep making more and more and more. This thing has a green light. It is constantly making construction bots for me. It is constantly making construction bots. So that is, I think, everything that I can think of that I did off screen, as well as some of my plans going forward. The idea today and in the immediate future is to get all the way to these good alien samples. I want to get to the good alien samples because that's going to unlock a lot of stuff. A lot of alien life for us, and it's going to be one of the steps along the way to getting into Mukmo as well. But it's required to get into Ulrich, which is what I want to actually use to do the bone meal going forward. So that is that. So my bone meal here for the Augs, from the Augs, yeah, that's not going to be bone meal forever. My intention is that the bone meal will be relocated as an Ulrich setup, and this is going to be converted, instead of bone meal, to brains. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch it from bone meal to brains, and have brains on my network. Or guts, or a mix of both. Maybe I'll do half and half, or just copy the whole thing and paste it down in a new thing to have guts, because Augs are going to be my source of the initial supply of guts as well as brains. Why do I need those two things? Because that's Vat Brain Blue Science. That's what I ultimately need for Vat Brain Blue Science that I'm missing right now. You need fetal serum to do it, which requires guts as well as silver. I have the silver, so I can straight up make the fetal serum when I get to guts. And the Vat Brain recipe, well, it needs brains to do. So, hey, brains. That'll be my Vat Brain Science. Now, I have this up right here, because this is what I was working on earlier. the final thing I was working on. It's a few units of Ralesia. Just a few units of Ralesia, and during this entire time, I have allowed this to now finally start true production of the 200 Ralesia plantations on the most basic Ralesia recipe. And there's enough space here for a train station. Yeah, it's good. It's glorious, magnificent, and beautiful. I'm going to copy this. Get rid of the buildings. Get rid of the belt. Get rid of the inserters. The poles. Not the lamps. The underground belts. The buildings. Yeah, I can get rid of those just fine. Get rid of those. The warehouse. That should leave me with what I need. Because I'm going to redo the belts anyway. Yeah, that works. Are there pipes? No. Save that blueprint. There we go. So this is a more compact version of a train station, meant only exclusively for one output. This is for one output. Oh, look at that alignment. Wow. Okay. Good to know. That actually works. I am shocked that that works, but it does need something moved here. What is it that needs moving? You. Of course, this Roboport. Oh, there's a rail signal in the way. Hello? Where? Spot the red dot there. Yeah, that's fine. Just place. Place and go. Yes, time is the only bottleneck. The one and the only. Oh. I mean, does that even, like, work? Is that signaled properly? Do I have that as a thing? Because this is bidirectional. This section here is bidirectional. Am I okay with that being a thing? Because all it can really do is go down this way, right? It won't try to go the wrong way here. We'll see what happens. It's bidirectional, that little thing. I have very few spots ever. Like, this is the first ever bidirectional thing that I've had. Section of track. I have not done that before. So we'll see how that works in the end. Yeah, from my understanding of how things work, it should not try to go in. It should not attempt to go in. Note that the way that I've built this is custom. It's not from the modular rail system. It's not from that because the alignment's a little bit different. The alignment is just a little bit different. I simply chose to do this so I didn't have to move a Roboport, I think. So, yeah, this should be fine. There's literally not going to be anything coming from down here, because this is up only, right? There's never going to be a circumstance where we're going to get anything coming on this piece of rail in the opposite direction, right? It's only going to come in from this one here going down. So it's only doing this, going down, and this here is only going up like so. It's never going to want to come in this way. So it should be fine. It should be okay. It had dang well better be okay. So Ralesia, I am going to load onto my trains Ralesia as flowers. Why? Even though I need the seeds. It's because Ralesia can be ground into seeds in the thingy here anywhere. Like I can do this anywhere. It's just Ralesia into seeds. But I can't do seeds into Ralesia quite as easily. So it's better to have the actual plant on your network than it is to have the seeds of the plant, generally speaking. Oh, which does remind me as well. On my automation science update tutorial, my red science update tutorial, there was a comment made, someone questioning the concept of, in the very beginning, if you only have like one module, right? When you are first starting out with inserting your modules, I said in that video that it is better to have more buildings moving than to add modules until one is full before moving on to the next machines. Have I seen videos about Satisfactory? I have seen videos about Satisfactory. I do not own Satisfactory, nor can I afford to own Satisfactory at this moment in time. So I said that it is better to have more machines moving than it is to continue to add modules into one machine. And this was questioned as to whether or not that was actually true. It is true, and I will explain why. It is because while the base crafting speed on these buildings is really low, it doesn't move unless it has one module. But if it has one module, it's getting the full effect of the speed of that module. So in this case, it's plus 166%. So it's either not moving, or it's moving at base speed plus 166%. The second module is only adding 166% of the base speed. So it's only half as effective. It's only half as effective as the first module. But if instead of adding a second module, you put it into that second machine, you're getting the base speed with the full effect of that first module in a second machine. So you are getting that full amount of value out of that module by making another machine move, rather than half the value of the module by adding a second module to an existing machine. And the next one, it only adds about 25% and 12.5%, and it's diminishing returns for each additional module you add into a machine. Is my point. The effect of diminishing returns is huge, absolutely huge, and absolutely will always make it so that it's better to have more machines moving and faster to have more machines moving ultimately than to have fewer machines moving. Now, that being said, once you have one module in a line of machines, and it's all of your planned machines. Once you have one module in all of them, then yes, it's better. You have the option. You can just go back and start filling one until it's full, and then move on to the rest. But do keep in mind it's diminishing returns for each additional module you add into a machine until it's full. Just on because it's a very set amount that gets added to the crafting speed with each additional module. It's always going to be a set amount that's added, and it doesn't change with each additional module. So the gain is fixed. Which means, of course, that once all of the machines are moving, it doesn't really matter anymore how you put the modules in. Yeah, you tried math, but it's too many symbols. It's too many symbols. Yes, please prevent from spamming symbols, even though it's math. So that's the point in regards to that. Oh, Dolly, hello. You gonna come say hi? Where's my Dolly? Now she just sits and grooms. So yeah, the point is, make all your machines move, and then it doesn't matter how you put the additional modules in at all. Basically, it's going to be the same no matter what. No matter whether you start with the first one again and you start filling to full, or you go down, fill one at a time, two, etc. It ultimately won't matter as long as all of the machines are moving first, because then the effects of the diminishing returns no longer truly apply at that point, because everything is now moving. It really exclusively comes down to the fact that the machines don't move until you put the first module in. So that's that. That is that. This is making about how much? I forget. I have forgotten. 7.5 Ralesia per second. Net out. Can I just, by the way, note 200 or 186 would make 13.6. I have 200, so it's a bit more than this. To get 7.5 out, it's like nearly double the amount with this particular recipe because of how much you have to loop back to make the seeds. It is rather incredible, but I'm not going to spend manure at this phase of the game, so don't care. Do not care anymore. Not spitting manure right now. Not even making manure right now. Don't really want to make manure right now, even though I will have to do something for ammonia when I set up the stuffs and things. Set up the niobium on the network. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. This can be brought down at this point. Again, I needed a few electric power poles to get this operating. Just a few. What am I looking for? Fuel. That's what I need, and I need you limited a lot. What's the math here? 300 times 8 divided by 7.5-ish. That is 5 minutes, 5 and a third. So let's actually limit that to 2. Now, I try to keep the fill time on these trains to a couple of minutes. Definitely not in the 5-minute range. Just so that things can keep moving. You don't want a train to wait for an hour to fill at 1 item per second when stack sizes are this high, right? If you're trying to fill an entire wagon of a train at 1 item per second with a stack size of 500, that takes a really long time, and your base is going to be waiting forever and ever and ever to get stuff. Like, I'd rather have the train move more often than to have it sitting and waiting to fill forever. So all of all of these names need to change. Thanks. This is S. Ralesia 1. D. Ralesia 1. Probably don't need 3 of these. Just gonna throw that out there. Probably don't need 3 of these. Only gonna have the 1 train right now. S. 2D. Full circuit condition. Go! Do your thing. You can do just a big circle. A big oval as it goes. And with that, all I need to do now is just add in Mark 1 Ralesia. Whoops. Mark 1 Ralesia. D Ralesia 1, save, and there we go. That is that. We are good. We are done with this part. Where did I park my vehicle? Up there. And it's now sitting and waiting to be requested elsewhere. Glorious, glorious, glorious. Absolutely glorious. And let's see. So in order to get into the good samples, I was on this topic. In order to actually get into the good samples, I need a few things. I need a few other things. So good alien samples require plastic, which I don't actually think I did a thing for yet. No. Of course. Hello. You are going to be... Why is plastic not in petroleum handling? That would be, like, obvious as a thing, but no, it's a vanilla thing. Hi. Plastic. That's gonna be there. Plastic at scale. So we need plastic, we need poor alien samples. Glassware. I have glass. For the glassware, that's fine. Molten glass for the glassware. As well as latex, so I'm okay with that. And I have the glassware on my train network now, so I have that. I have the biosamples on my train network. I need DNA polymerase, primers, microfiber, and formamide. The DNA polymerase, which I have with the good samples, is going to be more glassware, lab instruments, Vrauk cocoons, and retrovirus, which of course is also Vrauk cocoons. It's also liquid nitrogen at this point. Is that reasonable to get into now? It would need tin chromium alloy at minimum. I do have access to it, so yeah, I would do the tin chromium alloy out of stripped distillates out of tar. Oh, and I still need the titanium tetrachloride anyway, so I guess I'd have to set up either, like, both the catalyst stuffs. Tin chromium and titanium tetrachloride are two rather important catalysts in regards to fuel processing. Oil processing stuff. In this case, tar processing stuff, because that's how I would ultimately get the distillate stuff going to begin with. But yeah, that would be a much better output by comparison. Like, we get 1 for our stuff, or we get 3 for our stuff. Yes, I would absolutely love to get 3 for my stuff, rather than 1 for my stuff. But I will need to have Vrauk cocoons set up, which is why I have that marked there. We also need primers for this, which is going to need Fawagi. Hey, Fawagi. That means actually getting Fawagi, the first Fawagi, and setting that up somewhere. Setting up Fawagi. So I have a special section just for the primers. Hello? Hey, don't fight under me. Get some compressed air. Like, hey, go break it up. Come here. It's a dolly. Hi. Hello, my dolly. What are you doing fighting with your brother? Huh? What you doing fighting with your brother? Yeah, you can go on my lap. Can you spend some time on my lap so I can pet you? Oh, I can pet you. So this is also phytoplankton sap incubated petri dishes. I mean, I would have to do the petri dishes here out of, like, from molten glass and have the agar done in here. I can bring in the lab instruments. I can make the sap here. Goodbye, kitty. And I can make the phytoplankton here. It's just I need to get to Faugi for those primers. Microfiber. Ahem. Over here. Microfiber is going to require setting up fiber and sodium hydroxide. So there's my sodium hydroxide. And then there's the kickalc. There's the kickalc for the raw fiber for the fiber. That's the plan. That is the plan. So all of this will lead into the good samples. But first, I need to have access to pore samples, and I may as well do the logistic science while I'm at it, because, I mean, it's pore samples plus lab instruments equals logistic science, and I have the lab instruments, and I should now have all of the stuff for the pore samples that I need to do. I may need more space for the kickalc, yes. Most likely. There's a reason why I put it out here with room to expand in all directions. This may end up as like 4, for example, of kickalc. This may end up as multiple thingies for the kickalc, but we shall see. I need a lot of space for the microfiber because it's a lot of centrifuges producing a ton of biomass, excessive amounts of biomass that I need to get rid of somehow constantly, and voiding fuel isn't particularly space efficient. Voiding a solid fuel isn't particularly space efficient. Hello? I felt. Do I have kitty? Hi. I has kitty. There's a kitty at my feet. Yeah. Hi. Wanna say hi again? How about you, Ollie? Ollie's just right behind me, too. No? No, he does not want to say hi. He wants to bat me away with his paws. Okay. As I move stuff around on the desk, drink the last of my coffee. No more coffee. We're done with coffee at this point. All right. So, pour alien samples require biological samples, ground samples, and biosamples. I have a few biosamples, like literally 2 per second being made in this mess right here. This mess of a thing is 2 grand total biosamples per second. It's beautiful. It's magnificent. It's such a glorious thing. Is there a limiting factor that I have no control over, or not much control over? The glass, I think, would be a pretty limiting factor here. Oh, it's titanium. That's right. Titanium is the bottleneck towards making biosamples. Like, the ultimate bottleneck towards biosamples is the titanium for the containers. It just uses way too much on the titanium for those containers for the biosamples. It is annoying. Ollie! We didn't see you last time. Hi. Yeah, you're looking at me. Hi. Here's Ollie. Here's the gray kitty. Dark gray kitty. Yes, Ollie. Hello. Welcome. You finally calmed down a bit. Come to say hi. So yeah, the poor alien samples here, that this is going to be easy enough because I now have the bone meal and the Ralesia. I do need to do the incubated petri dishes in here, which, you know, means a bit of space for that. I will need some seaweed crops. Hello, seaweed crops? Of course not. Alright. Seaweed crops, bring me the basics. Bring me the basics. Where are the basics? Basics! There you are. Auto-saving. Basic seaweed. Did you not fight? That at least distracts them. That is compressed air, by the way. Distracts the kittens enough. Apparently not enough. Oh, these kittens. They're still fighting. They are still fighting. Bring me 20 of them, sure. Won't matter too awfully much. What is the scale that I'm going for? That's a pretty good question. What is the scale I'm going for? Yeah, not 10. 1 in this particular factory. What does this look like? Where's the breakdown of... I don't need to break down the thingies. Don't need to break down those thingies, either. Those can just not exist. Don't need to worry about any of this stuff. Any of this stuff. Alright, just get rid of all that. Just get rid of all of it. Give me the incubated petri dishes, 0.4, 0.4. 0.4 agar, 1.7 seaweed. That is 18. Unless I add limestone, in which case then it's 14. With a whole bunch of belt logistics associated with it. You see why there's not much reason for me to go into limestone. It's not good enough at this slowness of this building. It saves a whole 4 seaweed crops at a cost of having to add an extra belt line in. Alright, that they should be better by now. So also I need steam, which means I need a solid fuel of some description. Don't need to think about that one either. And I need the rich clay. Rich clay. Oh joy. So previously I was using ash, but I'm not too inclined to do the ash because my usual go-to is tar. Tar is the go-to for making the rich clay. It makes some other stuff, but eh. But the important part here is in the process of doing the tar, I will also be making some solid fuel to void the byproducts here, the tailings dusts and coarse fractions. So I will have enough extra solid fuels to make the steam required here if I'm going the route of making tar to begin with. Of course, soil is super simple to do. Now, how much empty or how much molten glass do I need? A little bit, just a little bit. Now, the point was brought up that it is actually far simpler. Instead of using syngas here, it is far simpler to do benzene. Why is it far simpler to do benzene? Because benzene is made out of coal, water, slurry fuel, which is tailings. Now, this is trying to give me the water I need, so I need to add in water so that I actually have decent values here. So yeah, do you see how perfect this is? This is pretty perfect, right? In that we've got 10 into 10, 5 into 5 from 16.7. From 16.7, I think this is overproducing tar. No, it's producing exactly as much tar as it needs. Yeah. You see how perfect it is going into the rich clay as well that I needed. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Very little excess output here. Oh, it is doing excess rich clay. Okay, now I know. Now, why? Why are you doing excess rich clay? What are you trying to use? Has to be trying to use something from here to feed into something else. But I'm not using flue gas anywhere. I'm not using carbon dioxide. Am I using carbon dioxide anywhere? No, I'm not using it anywhere. I'm not using the aromatics anywhere, so I don't know what's going on. Why it wants to... I guess it's trying to use all the tar rather than have excess tar. It's just having excess rich clay. Well, regardless, it's producing twice the amount of rich clay that I need. Freaky. Very freaky. I don't know why it's exactly doing that, but hey, the intricacies of Hellmod, right? The absolute awful intricacies of Hellmod that, like, I don't quite understand why it's giving me more rich clay than I need. Because, like, all of the flue gas is a byproduct, all of the carbon dioxide is a byproduct, all of the aromatics is a byproduct. Like, I can try setting main output. Like, that feature has not ever worked, by the way. The, like, setting of main output, etc. Like, trying to, quote-unquote, ignore byproducts. It's never worked. At least it's never worked for me. I don't know how it even works. There is literally zero documentation on this feature outside of, here are the shortcuts. Like, that tells me nothing. Like, how it actually works. There was no explanation as to how that feature is supposed to work at all on prioritizing outputs versus inputs. Like, does it even work with Matrix Solver to begin with? Clearly not. Not for me. Anyway. But regardless this, I'm going to be putting down a setup that's going to do 250 tar anyway, so it won't. We'll be dramatically overproducing. Regardless. Speaking of, where are you? There you are. Tar! Welcome to the tar party. Let's put you right there. Glorious tar. Also, may as well find... Do I want to do it that way? Shh. I don't have the space. Or do I? Do I? Do I? Let's find out. Shall we? I do. Hello. So that'll be my solid fuels. All sorted. I should have grabbed the voiding as well. Excuse me. Go away. Go away, ghost. Or electric pole I don't need. I don't need that electric pole. The downside of the tar thing, by the way, is that it uses 11 deep water wells, and I sort of only carry around 10. I sort of only carry 10 with me of those water wells, so the construction bot can do what I need to have done. By necessity. Attach. There you go. Power! It has power. Beautiful, glorious, wonderful power. I would hope. Won't have water to move until a construction bot comes and places the thing, but hey. We're okay with a little bit of waiting, I would imagine. I also need enough room for a train station, by the way. This train station is going to need to bring in molten glass. And that's it. I am pretty sure that all I need to input here, and the Ralesia and the bone meal and the biosamples and the lab instruments, you know, four other things with the molten glass, so 5 total input stations, and 2 output supply stations on top of that, one for the green science and one for the actual poor samples, excess poor samples, because remember, we need to make excess poor samples as well, but it looks like we can only actually make 2. Make 0.7 for the one Logi Science. So I'll be basically using excess until I start doing science again. It'll accrue green science in a warehouse until it's full, and then we'll go from there. All right, bots should be on their way. There's a line of bots. Hi, thank you for bringing me stuff. Logi bots. Don't know where the Constructo bot is. Where's the Constructo bot? There's a Constructo bot. Where is the Constructo bot with the water? With the water? I don't know. Build. Pin. That I know what I'm building. I also need micro org mines. Yes, that is important. Bring me some microorganism mines, because I will need those. I need a fluid sap. Otherwise, I should have everything else. Oh, and I need the research centers. So bring me those things. I'm probably not even going to be in my grid. Like, if I build in here, anywhere outside of the yellow, orange area, I won't actually get my requests. So, I need to be pretty careful. So, let me think. I'm gonna just mark the water as existent. What I'm going to do is put a overflow valve for voiding. I need 2 to actually void the full amount. Out of that, this makes 250. So each one apparently voids 200. Is it not doing the full amount? Oh yeah, we got the dude. Is it not doing 250? Are you voiding more than 250? I don't know. It does not. Unless you are consuming. Yes, you are consuming 75. So that's why 1 is operating. That's why 1 is operational right now. All right. Now I know. So the idea here is that I will be using the tailings. I will be using the tailings from here. And I need to somehow get stuff escaping. I actually don't need those at all. Okay, there's a good spot there to escape tailings out there. Now I just need a fluid separator. Hey, I'll actually use the pipette tool thing. I'll actually use the Helmut Smart tool to place the building that I need. Wow, I rarely actually use that feature. Very rarely actually use that feature. This will need to void. And there's our cold water slurry. I need a DDC. Yes, really, I rarely ever use that feature. Benzene from cold water slurry fuel. Why? There. Perfection! Then I can get rid of the aromatics, and I have the benzene. Yes, direct feed. The direct feed is glorious. I was like, I really want you on the left. I really want the thing on the left. It was on the right. Okay. So that's those done. For the benzene. Now, the benzene is going to go into empty petri dishes. Glassworks building. Why? Because benzene has a fuel value of 1 megajoule. Benzene has a fuel value of a full megajoule, which is better than syngas. I can tell you that much for sure. Now, and it's not even spending my tar, really. Like, sure, I'm voiding excess tar, but that's excess tar. I could be using the full 250 tar and still have the tailings. It's like I'm making use of something I would otherwise be voiding without even using my tar for it. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. I should have been doing this the entire time. The entire time I should have been doing this with benzene on everything that's using the glass. Everything using glass should be doing this way. In particular, that's this here for the biosamples. It should be doing it this way. I shouldn't be doing 5 gasifiers here to make syngas when I'm pretty sure just 1 fluid separator and a DDC would make enough benzene to use as fuel for my glass buildings there. Like, really? And then the actual building doing glassware, which is somewhere over the rainbow, where I have actual glassware being made. I think it's here. Yeah, the glassware and the optical sets. Yeah, this should be benzene, not syngas. Unless there's something that specifically needs the syngas. Occasionally I specifically need the syngas. Why you know build. Why you know build. I need the thing. I need the thing. So we are making this stuff. Yeah? I will need hot air. Hot air, though, I have a setup that makes 25, but I only need 16.67. Right. You there. Hot air. Factory 1. Yes. Make. Use. Build. Build. Place there, sure. Why not? So, this, as I said, is 25 hot air per second in this build, but it is the Mark 1 Factorissimo factory hot air. So I may as well use what I've already designed. Is my point. It's like I've already designed this. It does not have power poles, however. So I do need to add power poles to this to make it, you know, function. Should probably just take a new blueprint of it with the power poles. Yeah, I may as well just grab a new hot air blueprint. Hot air, there you are. Hot air again. The next. Hot air the next. just add stuffs. Just add things. This is going to come in from below, most likely, the molten glass. Okay. Agar. I need agar. I need a lot of seaweed. I need a bit of seaweed. 18 is what it said on that. Yes, 18. Oh boy. 2 sets of 9. I have decided. I have decided it will be 2 sets of 9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, is this the best orientation slash positioning for this? Probably not. But I'll go with it. If I really need to rearrange things, I'll rearrange things. I need actual seaweed modules now. And there we go. I'll have the water on the inside and use my beautiful niobium pipe. Niobium pipe is quite convenient, just to throw that concept out there. I do quite enjoy my niobium pipes. Ah, now this is always the perpetual question. It's like, do I do it like this and use underground belts, or do I do it like this and use more pipe to ground? Underground belt or pipe to ground is always a valid question. I'm going to do the underground belt. I am on the bottom rather than the extra pipe to grounds. Just because I can design like so. Just do a copy and it's like paste, 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 all the way down the line. And there we go, that's 18. Kittens are still playing by fighting each other. They're still doing it. Alright, take that seaweed back. They will move as soon as they get water. Oh hey, I have some amount of water left. Enjoy your water. Thank you for the seaweed. I need 4 high pressure furnaces. I need only 33.4 steam, so that's 1. That is 1 boiler. I also need water. More water for this. Steam! Glorious, beautiful steam. Alright. Next, 4 high pressure furnaces. Right here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Make my agar. Alright, bring you over there. That spacing, though. Wow. That was nice. So then we get into the very minor issue. That is... the agar is here. Right? The petri dishes are here. That seems like a slight problem, so it's probably going to be easier to grab that and bring it over here. Probably in my best interest to bring that over here. Yeah, I guess that'll work. Of course, I need to now think about how everything is going to be routed for the pipes. We gotta bring the hot air over and the tailings over, etc. Alignment. Alignment is everything. It is the keyest of key things. Alright. Tailings. There you go. The tailings shall exist. Turn it on. And there we go. Ta-da! And then that'll output... there. There we go. Oh boy, that's the halfway mark already? Sheesh. Really? I've just about got the stuff though. I'm there. How many automated factories making the stuffs? 2! Wow. Wow, 2. Not too often I need more than 1. Making me stuff. So yeah, that's going to be the petri dishes. Once I have the stuff in, I just need to now add in several microorganism mines. 7 microorganism mines. They'll probably be this line here, or something along that. Something like that. Might need to move pipe. Might need to move a pipe a little bit. A little bit out of the way. But for now, if you're watching the VODs on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. I'm about to take my break. I will be back on the next one, do all the social stuff, etc. For those watching live, I will, of course, be back in a few minutes where we will continue working towards the automated pour alien samples on the train network, along with the green science on the train network. I will be back shortly.